Wonderful. Well, good evening, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be with you this evening. My name's Amy Holmwood. I'm an Elite Pro 9 with Lifevantage. And we're going to be talking to you tonight about the follow-up, and we're also going to be talking about the cleanse. And I have the honor to be able to bring on Dr. Brett Brimhall after this. So I'm going to pull up some slides for you guys to look at that I like to use when I do trainings on the follow-up, which to me is such a huge part of the business and is an area that I was so happy when Maria asked me to come on here, because this is an area that I actually really need to focus on. I'm actually somebody that's really good with going out and meeting new people and getting sort of that the hunt, and just going and meeting new people. And that's the exciting part for me about the business. And then when we get into the core habits and really just the way we're doing this business, there are elements of it, I think, for each of us that are difficult. For me, one of them is the follow-up. And it's also being organized. You have to be organized to do that. But as you guys know, we have 4 pillars. This is the most wonderful part to me of the business, just about the system of running our business. And in the blueprint, there are a number of elements of the blueprint that we're going to follow, and one of those is follow-up. So I'm not going to walk through these different things, but if you're a new person looking at this for the first time, I just really want you to understand that this is such a unique business and that we do have a foundation with which to build our business on that is very simple. And if you follow these and you really make a decision that you want this to be really successful, then you want to not have any of these elements negotiable. So what we're talking about tonight is just one little piece of that. But the next time you hear more information, or maybe you're looking at this business right now, think of a system that's completely laid out for you and something that you can get involved in right away. And there's a lot of on-the-job training. Many of us have never done anything like this before. I think it's like 80 to 90% of all the people in our company have never even been involved in direct sales before. So we all need to use a system. And this was developed by the leaders in the company that have been in the industry for a very long time. So the blueprint is that training guide that comes inside of your distributor start kit. So following up, when you look at, you're talking to people, you're inviting them to take a look at our opportunity. You're talking to them about the products. You're talking to them about our business. And most people are not really ready to just move forward immediately. So we do have to have an expectation that there's going to be a tremendous amount of follow-up, and there's going to have to be some organization around that. And each of us has a different way that we keep track of things. Some people are really automated and they can keep everything in maybe constant contact on their phone or just in their own contacts. And then some people write things down. I have a tendency to like to do that. So you want to keep track of everybody's name in a way that works for you, that you can then use a system to follow up. I actually have little index cards that I use that I can write down the date that I talk to them, and I file it in a little accordion file. But the most important thing, after you expose someone to this opportunity, is you have to follow up with them immediately. You really need to follow up right away and find out where they are with this, because they don't really know what they're supposed to do next unless you tell them. we kind of think somehow they know what's going on, and they have no idea. So it's actually pretty kind of cool, because you can't really mess this up because they don't know anything. So don't worry about not knowing everything and not having it be exactly right when you get started. Just know that the most important thing is how you act professionally and your high vibration, and then how you follow through with people, because they're actually interviewing you. They're actually making a decision if they want to go into business with you. When you think about that, and we're really talking about the business tonight, we're still at such an early startup company that we're still in business building mode. We will be for a long time. We'll be forever, but this is the beginning stages of the company. This is an integral reason why follow-up is so important, because we're still in the early adapter phase of the company, where people are going to need to hear more and more information. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that. So after you meet with somebody, you're gonna contact them immediately. What did you like about what you saw? On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself in this in the different elements that we've talked about on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you see yourself? How do you rank yourself in terms of being interested in the business? How would you rank yourself in an interest in the products? And then give people homework that for the next follow-up when you're going to talk to them. So most of the time people say, well, I'd like some more information, or I need to do some more research. And then you can always say to them, I think that's a great idea, and I'm going to be sending you, and I'm going to share another slide with you. I'm going to be sending you some more information. And between now and, let's say, in the next 48 hours, I'm going to ask you to read that study on, because maybe the person's a doctor or a nurse. Give them some homework. Please watch a video I'm going to send to you. If I sent you a video, would you? If I would you is some of the language that we use. If I sent you some follow-up information and some videos to watch, would you watch them by next Tuesday? And I'll call you again. How is the same time next week work for you? 10 a.m. And then you want to stay in touch with people. And this is part of our blueprint, re-invite every 60 to 90 days. That's kind of long. When you have someone who's interested, you want to follow up with them very quickly, because the excitement level is high in the beginning. So right when you first expose to somebody, the follow-up shouldn't be like a week or two later. It literally should be even that day. Call them and say, hey, I was thinking about you. I just want to tell you give them a compliment, how much I appreciated your time. And on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you see yourself, in terms of what we talked about, in joining the company, whatever. So that is going to it's going to help your business tremendously if you start doing those follow-ups really within 24 hours when that information's still hot. Because I don't know about you guys, but you probably had a lot of excitement when you first heard about this, and maybe you didn't even sleep that night. But just imagine if the person that shared this with you gave you all this information, and then they didn't call you for a week or two after that to say how you were doing. And then all of a sudden you got bogged down again, and then the excitement sort of goes away instead of continuing to give more information and sort of ammunition to help that person further, themselves along. So the ways that we follow up, phone calls, certainly a phone call is key. A lot of people don't answer their phone. Leave them a message. Hey, it was wonderful seeing you at LV Academy. Thank you for coming. I'm going to send you an email to give you a little bit of homework. We talked about you were interested in yada, 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 and I want to make sure you get that information. So leave it and then send them a text, because a lot of people don't listen to their voicemails. So I always send a text after I leave a voice message. Hey, Tammy, I just left you a voice message. Please listen to that. I'm going to be following up with you in a few days, like we talked about. Just be super professional, just like this is, a really important part of your life that you're trying. It's like when you think about the way I look at this is it's like giving birth to a child when you have this business. You're not going to just leave your kid on the side of the road and not go, oh, I'm going to pick you up at 10 o'clock and then never call them. You want to treat this the same way with that type of level of intensity and professionalism. We also have our LV apps, and those have incredible follow-up information on them. You can put contacts. There's not enough time on this call to go through this with you guys. You can put your contacts in there and send them. You can send them, in a prospect folder. You can send them different videos. I don't know if you've looked at the Lifevantage blogs, but they're really well done. They're beautiful. They're well written, very professional. So anything you can use to stay connected to the person, to keep the information fresh at the front of their mind. Obviously, PubMed and other sources on scholar.google.com. I love using that because that has so much more information even than PubMed does with pro-tandem resources. So I like to get people connected to that. Also, I like to invite them with a special, like a PDF little invitation that we can just text out to people. That is another way to invite them to maybe a webinar or to, a meeting. And obviously a phone call. So we're inviting from event to event, and we're also going to let them know that this is something that they can expect, because then they see the professionalism when you follow through on that. So I like to let people know you can expect to receive different things from me, and let me know at some point if you don't want to receive the materials anymore. But until you tell me not to, I'm just going to continue to send you things. And then follow through on what you say you're going to do. When you say you're going to do a follow-up call on Tuesday, or you say you're going to call somebody when you leave them a message, call them. when you said you were going to do that, and say, hey, I told you I was going to call you today at 10. Well, I'm calling you now, like I said. And just remind them of the things that you're doing professionally, and then be consistent with that over and over again. So as long as you're always really going to be in this sort of follow-up mode, even if it's with the people that you're working with in your downline, frankly, following up with them and treating them with the same level of respect that you would a prospect. Those people have become business partners of yours, and this is something that is going to be hugely instrumental in you becoming a leader in the company, is doing the things you say you're going to do. And one of the things I like to have is an accountability follow-up partner. Having an accountability partner is great, but specifically in this area, this is an area that so many people have a problem with. So why not specifically have someone who maybe has the same issue that you have? If you have a problem with following up, finding somebody that needs help with that too, and then help share resources and how you're going to follow up with people, and just kind of keep track of that. Set goals, how many follow-ups you're going to do a week, a regular check-in time with your accountability partner. Obviously encouraging people, because again, this is following up is scary, because you're going to get a no. If you actually talk to someone, they might say, I really appreciated it, but I'm not interested. So that's why a lot of people don't follow up. You just live in a fantasy land that everything's just going great, but it's not. It's never going to go great unless you follow up with people. And then share the materials with each other. That's something that, a lot of people are, at least in my downline, they're always like, what else should I be sending? And I think everybody has issues with this. And then these are the statistics, is that we basically, if we don't follow up, it's essentially most transactions are closed on the 5th follow-up. So when you look at the stats and you see how few people actually follow up, this is the reality of business, in every business. Unless you have, some boss breathing down your neck, which we don't have here, most people don't follow up very well. So that creates an opportunity for people who do. So just know that the person that follows up the most is the one that actually is going to be the most successful. So I highly encourage you guys to take this seriously. Now, I have the opportunity to bring Brett Brimhall on, and I do have I thought I had some more slides to show, but I guess I don't have those for him. So Brett, are you out there? I don't know if you have your line muted. I allowed for the lines to unmute on their own. If you can check
so
that.
I'm here.
There you are. Oh, great. Okay, I know why. Yeah, you're there. Great. I need to put this on so I can hear you. Hold on a second.
No worries. I'm good.
Yeah, okay, awesome.
So I'm on and
cool. Excellent. So I'm going to introduce you, and I am so happy to be. Can you guys hear me a little bit, sort of? Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
I can.
Great. So Dr. Brett Brimhall. No, I can't see very well, so I should take my contact lens. Let me take a lens out. See okay. I have met you face to face, and it's an honor to be able to be on this call with you tonight. You've obviously been teaching and being in the healthcare industry, being a chiropractor for over 20 years. I actually had heard about you from somebody else. A nutritional formulator, author, public speaker, running a wellness center in Gilbert, Arizona, working with teaching with healthcare providers. You've been married for 21 years. You have 4 kids. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
You're very passionate about helping people to reach their full potential. And that is what is so amazing about Lifevantage, is that we are attracting people like you. We're so fortunate to have people like you. And I understand you're going to be on the medical advisory board, which is really an honor to have you representing the company. So I just wanted to turn it over to you and thank you for being on the call tonight.
Perfect. Thank you. It's actually super exciting to be on the call and do this. So I'm going to try to share just a couple simple slides. Not really slides. Well, I think you're still sharing there.
Oh yeah. Let me stop that. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got it.
Perfect. Okay. Let me try. Thanks, Amy. All right. So I'm just going to show you guys a couple real simple slides just because it's kind of entertaining. So like the cleanse, right? Why in the world do you want to use these things? And so I kind of talked, just like a couple of benefits of it. I want to kind of let you guys answer. People always ask, well, why do you do a cleanse? What's the benefits? You know, what's the importance of doing that? So let me give you a little idea of what your digestive tract puts up with. Now, if you ever ask your kid, why do I have to clean my room, right? You don't get a good answer. But maybe this will give us some ideas. So just give you an idea, your intestinal tract is like 25 feet long in an adult. Your food takes it a couple of seconds to swallow, right? But then your stomach and your digestive tract have to go to work on it, right? And what happens, just to give you an idea, like Americans eat about 2 billion pounds of chocolate a year. Right? In your lifetime, your digestive system may handle up to 50 tons of food. I don't know about you, but that's a lot. What that means, it's got to somehow digest and process and like get rid of all that stuff. I know with my kids, I have 4 kids, and it just seems like in a week's time or even a day's time, sometimes the house gets to be messy, right? And we really try not to go in the boys' bathroom, right? Because it's even more messy. So when we look at the cleanse and the importance of what we have our hands on with this, like I love the fact that when the company made a weight management system, one of the key foundations they used was to address the digestive system in and of itself. And people always want to kind of know, well, what's in it for me? Let me give you a couple. Well, I might be able to see this here. All right. So I'll give you just a picture, a visual of what your body is dealing with. So when we eat food, right, every single one of us eat this stuff, and somehow it's got to turn in from what we eat to eventually becomes part of us, right? So think about your digestive tract as your bank account. Like for instance, your end result of the energy that you have in your body is a result of what you're eating, and eventually turn into energy where we can do function. Now, so what type of symptoms might somebody have if their digestive tract isn't working well, where they might benefit from a cleanse? Okay, so if people are tired, very likely their digestive tract's not working well, they could benefit from a cleanse. If they have low mental energy, very likely. Most of our good brain chemistry is made in our digestive tract. So people with like, foggy brain or just low motivation, like all of those individuals could benefit from a cleanse. People that are grouchy all the time. I don't know anybody in Lifevantage to be grouchy, but everybody outside of Lifevantage, right? Grouchy, a poor immune system. Think about those individuals that are just constantly getting sick, right? Or kids, when they go to school, they just constantly get sick. People with allergies, or just anybody that just has their stomach's upset. So I want you to think about the last time you vacuumed your house, right? And there's some people like they vacuum the house every single day, and they like wash their car like multiple times a week. And there's other people like they probably haven't like vacuumed their house in a long time, or they haven't washed their car in a long time. My teenage driver, I'm not sure he ever vacuumed that thing, right? So what we have, and the importance of the cleanse is, when you look at the cleanse, I want us to hopefully move away from the idea that we only do it once. So when you're talking about cleaning your car or your house, most of us notice when our house is cleaner, we just feel better, right? We function better. We can find things easier. So I want you to give you an idea of what your digestive tract does. So its job is to take food, somehow break it down, keep the bad stuff out of your body, keep the good stuff in, right? So it can become part of us. So think about something that hasn't been cleaned a long time. I could just kind of give my daughter a hard time about her room and how clean it is or isn't. And I can never find anything in that room, right? So imagine your digestive tract is like that. It just hasn't been cleaned out in a long time. So how is it supposed to do its job well? So what Lifevantage has done by making the physique cleanse is that the ingredients in it are not like a super harsh cleanse. There are cleanses I've done with people for like a month or 6 weeks, and they're super difficult to do and very, very hard on your digestive tract because you can't do them all the time. Whereas this, like, how nice would it be if every month, right, you just start off your first week of the month and you take the cleanse. Just take 2, right, whether you do it at night or the morning, and then you do that. What you're doing is every month, you're taking your body through the process of basically cleaning out the digestive tract, right? So imagine what's going to happen is that happens, your body's going to feel and function better. You're going to have better energy to go through that. And they say, and you talk about acupuncture stuff, they say most diseases start in the colon, right? Because that's where the stuff sits there. So this is probably not the most exciting analogy, but I have a kid, and so it seems like the trash is never taken out. So imagine in your digestive tract, right? If stuff sits there longer than it should, what type of diseases or processes can start there, right? So it's critical that we do things to get our digestive tract working efficiently so that we, one, prevent things, and also we function at our peak. So what I love about the physique cleanse is, one, it's really mild. The things that are in it are designed to do multiple things. One, it's designed to affect the whole digestive tract, right? Not just the colon in itself. It's designed to both help pull the debris off of it at the same time to help heal it, right? So something like the Irish moss and those things are designed to actually help heal the lining of the intestinal tract. And there's other things that are designed to bind to and pull the other stuff out, right? So a couple key stories on this. Like, think about those individuals that when they travel, they struggle. And I know that a lot of people, like, when they travel, that it just seems like they can't use the restroom near as well. Well, here's a situation where the cleanse can be super beneficial, right? So let them use something like this. There's a lot of people out there that are having, constipation issues all the time. And Lifevantage cleanse is such a simple formula and effective that you can actually use it every day. So what I like to do is first week of the month, right? It's a cleanse, right? So two of them morning or two of them night, and just let your digestive system put that in there. So, and I like taking mine at night, so my digestive tract can have it in there to work throughout the night, right? So it makes it very easy for your digestive tract to move in the morning. So very simple. First week of the month, easy to remember, just do it. Okay, a couple of other things. There are a lot of people that I've known for years that they've struggled with digestion since they were tiny, tiny kids. And so here's something I feel very comfortable and confident with, that they can do one a day, and one a day of those cleanses, you can do it, just kind of keep your digestive tract healthy. I have multiple people for years that they have always taken, a particular ingredient called turkey rhubarb, one of those ingredients that's actually in this cleanse, and they've been taking it for years and years and years. That's the only thing that would keep their colon regular. Well, it's just amazing the formula that Lifevantage put together, because it has that in there with other things to actually keep your digestive tract super healthy and super regular. Couple other things that I think are key in this cleanse. One, who can use it? Anybody can use it. All right. So I feel fine with little kids using this, right? And it's kind of unfortunate how many kids that I see that struggle with constipation, right? So you can use it. I personally use it in kids to help them with their digestive tract. It's safe to use daily, but at the same time, I think it definitely every week of the month. I think every one of us would benefit if the first week of the month would go through the process, take 2 of those cleanses, a day, so your digestive tract stays super, super healthy. 80% of our digestive tract's job is our immune system. So you think of those people that are tired and run down and they're always getting sick, highly suspected their digestive tract not working because their body, there's too much stuff sitting in there. So it's going to be super, super beneficial. A couple of the things that I love about this particular cleanse is it not only cleans the colon, but it works with repairing it. And then actually it does things to help the good bacteria to get started. So some of the prebiotics are in this cleanse, which that's critical. When we come back and we use the probio, right? The probio we know has the good intestinal flora in it. Well, imagine having a clean place for them to be established on. That's why the cleanse is part of the physique weight management system. But we want to be able to have all the stuff that's not supposed to be there, right? That lets the bad guys live there. When your colon has a lot of stuff there, it's just like your trash. If there's trash sitting there, flies and other things can live there, and it's not friendly for anybody. The same thing in our digestive tract. If there's stuff sitting there, we need to cleanse it out so when the good bacteria gets put in there, they actually have a place to go and to live and to survive and to function, right? Super critical that we use that cleanse to get the maximum benefit. When we think about what we're doing in Lifevantage, both from a product standpoint and business, we're talking about changing lives now. Like what I love about the Nerf 2 from the quote from Washington State, the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. Everything we focus on is both therapeutic and preventative. So a cleanse is exactly that same way in my mind. We want to do things to be therapeutic and helping your digestive tract stay clean and healthy, but also preventative. The healthier it is, the less likely it is to develop things that we don't want to develop, right? And I want to think a lot of us are taking all these products, right? We're taking, the Nerf 1, the Nerf 2, the Axio, the Probio, but I think the cleanse gets missed. So imagine though, if you could keep your colon more healthy, right? You're going to benefit more from what you're taking if your digestive tract is all cleaned up, where you can absorb what you need to. Because your body's got to digest and then assimilate that stuff. And if we don't have a clean colon, it's difficult for your body to get the maximum benefit that it possibly can. Here's another key element with cleanses that I love. right? So when you're doing that cleanse, a lot of people struggle with craving the foods. Some of the ingredients in the cleanse, and especially when the colon's clean, we don't crave those foods as much. I don't know if some of you have noticed that, but that's another key element. So if someone you're talking to is saying, hey, I just crave sweets all the time, or I crave this or I crave that, well, that's an indication that the colon needs to be cleaned out. So cravings are another one of those things you'll see help people shift by doing a cleanse. So to kind of go back and summarize, right? So why would anybody want to use a cleanse? One, you want to use a cleanse both therapeutically, right? To get the colon working like it's supposed to, so your body gets food in, digests it, breaks it down, can take the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff, okay? Preventively, the better your colon functions, the longer you're going to live, the better you're going to live. It's going to affect your energy levels, it's going to affect your immune system. Super, super important. The other thing is we want it clean, so everything else that we do, all the other good products we're putting in us, all the activities we're putting in us, we want to get the most benefit we possibly can. And if the colon isn't as healthy as they can be, it's tough to get the benefit from them. So this all came about for me, probably a little funny, like I use all the products really well. I have to admit, I didn't use the cleanse super consistent at first. I remember I was with my family one time, and when I travel, I have a couple of my family members, they just don't, I just it doesn't work as well. I'm like, I want to be really consistent with it this time. And, multiple of my family members like, oh my gosh, I felt so much better on this trip than I ever before. I'm like, and I remember carrying this and said, well, you should probably use that better more often. So I'm kind of telling myself, hopefully if you guys learn that a lot of these products, they only work when they go in us. All right. And so I think the cleanse is underutilized because we think of it as something we only do once in a while. But there's a lot of benefit from using it every single month, right? At the beginning of the month, there's no harm in using it at a small dose once a day, every day. It's not something that you get. Some cleanses are too harsh. I wouldn't do that with. This one here is very safe to do. So that's an overview of the cleanse, why you'd use it, why it's super important. I'm super excited about what Amy said about the follow-up. Just kind of funny to have a conversation. Amy just kind of tied us in, but with somebody earlier today we were talking about a new distributor and we're talking about this follow-up, and it's so important. Guys, people also, when it comes to our product, even a call to some of our customers, like, hey, how you doing on the product? Like that follow-up sometimes will lead to other people, other family members, right, that need the product, and sometimes even a distributor. Because I know I've followed up in the past with people that were on the product, that were customers. I've had people found that, hey, I didn't know this was tied to a business. So it's super important to do that follow-up, in my mind, also with some of our customers that are getting these fantastic results. They don't only hear those stories to build their own belief, but also there's opportunities there with people that may be looking for opportunities to join us. So Amy, thanks again for allowing me to be on the call with you. It's been a blast. I'm super excited to see everybody in Orlando. We got a lot of things happening I'm excited about. So that's the cleanse, guys. Use it often and frequently.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brett. That was terrific.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it a wrap. And, we'll be seeing y'all pretty soon in Elite Academy coming up here real soon. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it tonight. Bye-bye.
Bye.